The Nashville Predators, 30, 44, and 8 season ago, 68 points, 7th in the Central, 14th in the West, 30th overall. They missed the playoffs for the second time in the last 3 seasons and haven't won a playoff series since the opening round against Colorado in 2018. If we were to list the top disappointments of 2024-25, Nashville would have been number 1. It's a very quiet offseason also in Nashville. Their acquisitions, Eric Haula, left wing, acquired in the trade with New Jersey for defenseman Jeremy Hansel. He is slotted in as a third-line forward. Defenseman Nick Hague comes over in a trade with Vegas in exchange for Jeremy Lauzon and Colton Sissons. Hague then signs as an RFA for 4 years at $5.5 million, but he's slotted in as a third pair, along with defenseman Nick Perbix, who signs on as a UFA from Tampa Bay. And there were no RFA or UFA re-signs within the organization. So I don't understand how Barry Trotz is trying to build this club, because 24-25 was an utter disaster. They signed Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brady Shea. They get off to an 0-5 start. They had an 0-6-2 run and a pair of 6-game losing streaks during the course of the regular season. They were out of it literally from the first night of the season. Stamkos had 1 goal in his first 10 games, had only 4 multi-goal games during the course of the season. He did finish with 27, but was a minus 36. That was tied for 5th worst in the NHL with Connor Bedard. So the season was just a total disaster from day one.
Oh, no doubt. And you know what? Someone said to me in last summer when we were trying to predict who was going to make the playoffs, sometimes when things look so good, they can go so wrong. And that is absolutely right. This time last year, we were all raving about what Barry Trotz had done and the guys that he had brought in, and it was an unmitigated disaster right from the beginning. And you got to think that even though Barry Trotz hired Andrew Brunette way back where a couple of seasons ago to come in and be the coach of the Nashville Predators after he had won the President's Trophy with the Florida Panthers, succeeding Joel Kenville, you got to think he's going to be on a short leash this year too, because Trotz himself can't have another disastrous year.
No, he can't. And Brunette had said that he wanted the Predators to play more of an up-tempo game. And you thought, coming off of the 23-24 season, where they made the playoffs and they really pushed the Vancouver Canucks hard in that opening round, that there was a lot more that was going to come from this club. They go ahead, they make the free agent signings that they did. But then you look at the numbers from last year. We mentioned Stamkos, Philip Forsberg, 76 points, decent production, minus 27. Marchessault, minus 29. Ryan O'Reilly, another Conn Smythe Trophy winner, a minus 23. So now when you look at Brunette wanting to play an up-tempo game, and you look at the moves that this club made, they get Eric Haula, third line. They get a pair of defensemen that are going to be together, projected as a third pair. Brunette doesn't have the tools to play that kind of game. Not in that conference.
No, not in that. No. And not in the Central Division. No, he doesn't. So he's going to have to adjust to his lineup and try to find, he's going to have to get things back on track. It's so much that I don't even know where to start. And I'm not saying they're a bad lineup, because they're not. Roman Josi is a great offensive defenseman and good captain for them. They brought in Perbix to play on their defense. Forsberg is a standout player. We all know that O'Reilly is a leader. Marchessault has had some real good years, and we all know about Steven Stamkos and his Stanley Cups. But boy, it didn't work last year, and he's going to have to find combinations that will work.
When you look at this club, though, the season they had last year, the way that they were made up, and the fact that they didn't make a lot of changes during the offseason, is Barry Trotz simply writing 24-25 off as a bad season, and he still believes in how this team is built to win in the Central Division against teams like Winnipeg, like Colorado, like Dallas, like St. Louis, like Utah, and then you go over to the Pacific and you got some real horses there in Edmonton and the Kings and, of course, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Partner, I don't know what to say to that because I am perplexed by the Nashville Predators and what they are. They're very similar to what started last year. Very few changes. And we'll just have to wait and see what kind of tricks Brunette has up his sleeve. Did everybody just simply have the worst year of their career all at once?
Plus minuses, they sure did.
Yeah. This is one of these things where I don't know how you analyze this team. It's really tough to say anything other than it's the same team as last year, but they're hoping for better results.
I look at their forward group and think the one player that they're going to hang their hat on for real improvement this year is Fedotov in the number 2 slot as a center behind Ryan O'Reilly. But when I look at it as a collective group, to me, it feels like they've got 4 top 6 forwards and 8 bottom 6 forwards. And that's not good NHL math.
No, it's not good NHL math. And you know what? It's just not a team that you can expect very much out of. After watching them last year and then looking at their lineup going into this year, as I said, Brunette is going to have to find some secret sauce to turn this thing around.
I think both of us, so many, we were the only ones guilty of thinking big things for Nashville last year. Certainly a playoff spot. And I think there are a lot of people that thought that they were going to make the Stanley Cup final and maybe even win the cup. I'm not making that mistake in reverse this year. I'm going to say this is not a playoff team. And I know that I'm really not going out on a limb with this one.
You know what? I would be surprised if they were a playoff team. That's all I'm going to say. I would be surprised if they made the playoffs.
Enough said.